Welcome to the story of the Elder Scrolls V Skyrim, like you've never heard it before.
This story isn't told to you by the one Dragonborn that masters all, but told to you through the eyes of many different characters.
From soldiers in the Civil War seeking peace and order,
to seeking freedom and to remove the weakness from her lands.
From those cursed by the night, seeking to be the vigil in the darkness.
To warriors seeking honor, glory, and companionship.
To a shapeshifter and worshipper of the Daedra who seeks to live a life as a warrior.
To a mage seeking power and the arcane knowledge of Aetherius.
To assassins seeking fear and bringing the cold touch of Sithis.
To thieves seeking wealth beyond measure.
We all hope you enjoy
this story
of the Elder Scrolls V Skyrim.
Chapter 48, The Elder Scroll. I had gained new companions willing to face the dragonfires with me. We made our way into the Reach to try and find an ancient Akaviri temple that would have Alduin's wall carved into the ruin, in hopes for it to tell us how the ancient Nord heroes defeated him. But this part of the Reach was controlled by the Reachmen, and none had dared step foot in Karthspire. But I made peace with their people, and they let us enter the ruins. There we found a door, and once my blood had touched the seal, the ancient temple opened, allowing us in. There we found Alduin's wall. It revealed that the ancients used a shout to defeat Alduin, but it gave no clues as to what shout was used. I was then sent to the Greybeards to find out, but they couldn't teach me that shout as they refused to learn it. It was called Dragonrend. They told me their master would know. His name was Parthernax. They forgot to mention that their master was a dragon who had been up on the mountain for thousands of years. He would teach me how to breathe fire like the other Dova do. He would reveal the purpose of Dragonrend, that only mortals could use it because it was made to terrorize dragons, to make them feel mortal. It was used to tear them from the skies. But he revealed that Alduin wasn't defeated by that shout. He revealed that the ancient Nord heroes didn't really defeat him, but used an Elder Scroll to send him forward in time. He told me that if I wanted to learn Dragonrend, I needed to learn it from those who made it. He told me I needed the Elder Scroll the ancients used to send Alduin back in time. He told me I needed to bring it here where they used it, where they left a time wound due to their actions, and that I needed to read the scroll here to take a glimpse back in time to learn Dragonrend. The real trick was finding that scroll. As it turns out, it was the Elder Scroll of Dragons that was used all those years ago. The very same scroll I was after when I was with the Dawn Guard. Back then, I needed it to help me stop the vampires from darkening the sun. Now, I needed it to learn a shout to tear dragons from the sky. While I was on the hunt for that Elder Scroll, I was stopped by a dragon and killed it, revealing to the world that I was Dragonborn, the only person who could kill them forever. So I was forced to take another path, but had a strange feeling before I left, knowing that one day I'd be back looking for this scroll, and that time is now. After last night, Centuros decided not to wake me early, and when I got up and ready to move out on this Elder Scroll hunt, Delphine called out to me from below. She wanted to show me something and asked me to meet her in the armory. The last time I was in there, I found an ancient Akaviri blade made out of dragon bone. It was calling out to me to use it. When I got there, she was standing beside armor that looked like hers, but better. She revealed she had found this set of armor hidden away, that this was the armor ancient Akaviri dragon slayers would use, that it was made to fight dragons, and that I should be the one to wear it. It looked incredible and could help me against the dragons. My old armor was made to fight vampires, but over time, fighting dragons had taken a toll on my old armor. It was time to have something new, something that could help me in the fights against the dragons, armor made for those who killed dragons. I was now ready to gather my forces and head to Winterhold to find the whereabouts of this Elder Scroll. But then Centuros came to tell me I needed to meet some new friends. He told me that he and Sigund had sent letters out for some of their own, but from what I knew, both couldn't send their troops due to the fact there's a civil war raging across Skyrim. But he revealed that it was both of their housecarls they had called for. He told me both of their housecarls fought in the war by their sides, but that their housecarls were loyal to them and them alone. so this is the best they could do, and I'm thankful for that. When I saw them, I knew that they were mighty warriors. To even become a housecarl, you need to show a great level of skill and loyalty. So I'll be glad to have them by my side if they're willing to face the dragons. I won't take them if this isn't something they're willing to do. There were 6 of them, 3 loyal to Centauros and 3 loyal to Sigund. I told them that I was grateful for them coming to help me, but I also told them the truth of what I face. And if they weren't willing to face the dragons, that they weren't required to. But they all took the knee and told me that they were at my service, that I was their thane until the dragons were defeated. I felt more than honored to have them fight by my side. It means the world to me to have such people fighting with me against the dragons. It brought me hope that one day Stormcloak and Imperial might one day see each other as friends. Thank you both for the help you could offer. I know your soldiers can't help, so thank you for your housecarls.
No worries, Dragonborn. We are here to help. The more blades, the better against the dragons.
I couldn't imagine doing this without both of you. Thank you for putting your hate aside to help me with all of this. Without you guys, I don't know where I'd be. Probably dead, so thank you.
It's our honor to serve, Dragonborn. The dragons need to be stopped, and you're the one to do it.
We'll all stop them, every last one of us. I might be the only one to kill them forever, but without all of you, I wouldn't stand a chance in doing so.
Once those big bastards land, we'll surround them, and you'll finish off the big scaly bastards. We're starting to get a bit of a following, enough troops to challenge the dragons. Anyways, we'll make sure everyone is ready to head out. Give us an hour. We'll all meet you down here to set off to Winterhold.
An hour later, we set off to Winterhold, ready to travel the roads and watch the skies. But when we were leaving, a group of Reachmen were blocking our path. It didn't look like they wanted to fight us, but talk to us. That one in the troll skull must be their leader. Time to find out what he wants. This was the true leader of Karthspire's Reachman camp. He was an older man. He had told me he was out raiding when we first came into Karthspire, and that he agreed with his second's decision. He talked about the dragon's return, and how they had burned down entire camps of his people, the good and the bad. He told me that we are welcomed here, that if a dragon attacks Karthspire, that I will help his people kill it. But he also asked for tribute in the form of gold or dragon bones. I knew there'd be a catch. And if one of his own could be within Skyhaven Temple to make sure my people and his people are on the same page. He explained that the tribute would be a way to ease over his people with those that follow me, that he can't control all of their hatred towards my followers without something to keep them fed and happy. Because those that follow me into the Dragonfire have a long history with his people. There is Sigund. She follows the man who took Markarth back from their people, and there is Cecilia, who has hunted his people for over 100 years. And there is Centauros and his legions, who have fought them across the Reach since Skyrim took back Markarth. We were only able to stay if I aided Karthspire if a dragon attacks, and if we hand over gold to the Reachmen. I was hoping this would be a new start for the Reachmen and the people of Skyrim. I don't want to hand over gold to them if they're going to raid and kill people on the roads. But at the same time, we're backed into a corner here, and the fight would be heavy in the cost of blood, so gold will have to do. He saw the look on my face. He knew what I was thinking. He told me not to worry. He wasn't going to use the gold to kill merchants and travelers. With the gold, he can buy food and arm his people from other tribes. And if Markarth gets a big head, he'll be able to defend his people with weapons. He told me, Karthspire didn't stand this long by making war with everyone. His main focus was keeping his people alive and fed. I hope that is true. I don't want to help them in killing more innocent people like most of his people do. I sensed truth in his words. I just hope I don't come to regret this. The gold could be used one day for war against the Nords of the Reach. I could be giving this chief gold to fund a war against Markarth. But if it does come to that, maybe I'll be powerful enough to stop them. I remember Ulfric used the Thuum to defeat the Reachmen before, and he wasn't even Dragonborn. I remember this way. A dragon is blocking it off. But up there leads into Whiterun. I'll have to take that path. So many dragons now. It was like a week ago there were only a few. But you can hear them all over Skyrim. It's getting far worse. And sooner or later, instead of going around them, I'm going to have to go right at them. I'm back here again, chasing an Elder Scroll. It's crazy to think that the last time I was after this, I became Dragonborn. While on the hunt for the Elder Scroll of Dragons, I came across one and became Dragonborn. It's like the threads of fate were stringing me along like a bard song. To think I was a bard before all this, it makes even more sense. Like I haven't had a choice of my own that wasn't already decided for me by the fates. I'm just a pawn for the gods. Even before that, finding an Elder Scroll in Oblivion. Things went crazy from then on. It was like my first step into the deep water, and then I got dragged out into the sea. Wait, Oblivion? That dragon, his name was Durnavir. He called me Kanarin. He knew I was Dragonborn. He said if I call his name, I can summon him into Tamriel. Having a dragon ally in the skies could really help me and those that follow me out. This could really improve all of our chances of surviving. All I need to do is call out his name, and he said he will appear.
The free air of Fus at long last. As promised, I now teach you the first word of soul tearing. Re, the essence of your enemy's life force.
He taught me a word called Re. It means essence. It made my soul feel sick when I learned it. But if this shout can harm dragons, then I must use whatever I can to stop them. It was almost a month ago I became Dragonborn. I'll never forget the date. It was the 9th of First Seed. I wonder how the Dawnguard are faring. I've not heard of many attacks from vampires, and I hope Serana has been doing well. I miss her. On my way north, I came across a Nord ruin I had been to before. It was when I was aiding Meridia in cleansing her temple of necromancy. It's how I earned Dawnbreaker. This was when I set out from the Bard's College to help the people of Skyrim from the vampires. I was on my way to join the Dawnguard. It kind of feels like a lifetime ago. Back then, I was helped by 2 servants of Meridia in killing a foul necromancer. One was a Daedra, and the other was an ancient Ayleid princess. I wonder how they are faring. We were going to stay at Ranveig's Fast, but the dragon nearby was a risk. So we went east. While I was on the road, I felt something, like a whisper in my left ear. Something calling out to me. From that? It looked like ancient Nord stonework. Maybe it was another tomb. Yes, it was another tomb. Nord ruins are all tombs now. But back then, they built these as places to bury their dead, whereas places like Ranveig's Fast were places they lived. There was something calling out to me down there. But what? 2 members of the companions called out to me. They told me they had been here before. Maybe they will have some insight into what's down there.
Dragonborn, we've been here before, a few years ago. It's an old Nordic tomb. What we killed long ago could again be walking around the place again.
Yes, I've been in Nord tombs before, but something is calling to me down there. Almost like I can hear a whisper from that place. While you were down there, was there anything out of place that you saw?
When we were down there, this one was just a whelp. We were after a fragment of Wuthrad.
Wait, yes, but there was something else that drew my attention. It was a wall with strange carvings on it. I had a strange feeling about it.
A word wall? That's how I learned some of my first shouts. That's what's whispering to me. I need to get down there and find it. It was getting late, so we all decided to stay in this tomb for the night. Most would set up in the entry. Centuros, Sigund, Cecilia, and Freya, the companions, the Nightingale, and myself would press on to find this word wall. Nord tombs should generally be a quiet place. They're meant to hold the dead after all. But most ruins, it's the dead, and those who died disturbing them that are normally guarding such ruins. But this, it felt empty. Like everything in here was dead and not moving. After about 15 minutes of nothing, it seems like everything in here was dead. Properly dead. This would have to be one of the easier Nord ruins I've ever been in. It's a pleasant surprise to see a tomb without walking corpses. The companions would stay back since there weren't any dead to put down. The rest of us would go on. Delphine even decided to tag along. Her order is sworn to protect the Dragonborn after all. Tonrak told me this place was filled with Draugr when they first came here. And Silver Hand members. They were werewolf hunters until him and Ayla wiped them out. Ever since then, it seems the dead have stayed dead.
We find ourselves back here after some years, now following the Dragonborn. But back then, do you remember Tonrock? Fun times these were, where those bastards surrounded me and I tore them apart.
You mean when I was given my test to join the companions, and you turned into a bloody werewolf right in front of me? And you tore those poor bastards into pieces. It was amazing and terrifying. Should have brought 2 breaches that day.
What were you thinking, Mother? Revealing what you were to him even before he was a companion.
I wouldn't really say I had a choice, seeing how I was surrounded by those that hunted our kind. It was reveal what I was, or die.
Well, it looks like you chose right. That whelp is now the Harbinger. Much has changed since I left Skyrim. Kodlak was always good to me. Taught me how to fight when I was old enough. You do his memory proud. But how are you not one of us while being one of the Circle?
I was a werewolf, but I cured myself and Kodlak after his death. The power was amazing. But I felt as Kodlak did, that the companions should return to being great warriors, ones fit for Sovngarde. Becoming a member of the Circle should be by skill, honor, and loyalty, not by blood.
You cured yourself? Us purebloods can't be cured. But for us, being a werewolf is like breathing. For the turned, it can be a very hard life if they don't embrace their inner wolf. Most of them turn feral or turn in the worst of places, being killed or killing everyone around them. Only the strong can handle being turned.
We went further down, and I can say it was as quiet as the grave. You might laugh at that, but for a place of the dead to be, well, dead, it's a rare thing in Skyrim. These halls are normally guarded by those who were laid to rest here, or the poor fools who came here looking for treasure, now cursed to guard these tombs. It looks like we have finally reached the end of this tomb. This is what was described by Tonrak, a large hall with a word wall at the very end of it. Wait, I can hear it. I can hear the word calling out to me. It was Inferno, the second word of fire breath. The wall wrote, Asa raised this stone for her sister, Thohild the Inferno, whose passion burned hot as the red forge. The second word of fire. This might not be useful against dragons, but those on 2 of 4 legs will begin to fear making me their enemy. We stayed the night in the tomb. For once, this place would house the living. As soon as the first light broke, we would begin our journey to Winterhold, to find this scroll I've been after for some time. I wanted it so we could stop the vampires from blocking out the sun. Now I need it to take dragons out of the sky. Then we will stand a chance against them. There are so many of them now, and they rule the skies. We meet again, mighty Talos, but as the same as Dragonborns. That you might even be my ancestor. That I'm the descendant of a god. Like I was saying before, things were already bad with the war, but with dragons burning the roads, merchants or anybody brave enough to travel during the war is staying put. That's going to leave people without food. People will starve. I'm going to be needed. I'll be needed to kill these dragons when they attack villages or cities, or when they block off roads. But I can't now. I'm not powerful enough. But with time, Delphine says I will be. And if we can't ground them, then I won't have the time at all to get powerful enough to kill dragons. Everywhere I go, I hear their roars echo across the skies. I had dreams of them long before they arrived. And now that it's up to me to stop them, It's just daunting. This wasn't how I planned my life. I set out into Skyrim for adventure to earn a name for myself, to dream like any Nord on the roads that people will remember me for my deeds long after I'm gone. But I had no god's damned idea that I'll either be known as the Dragonborn that failed, or the Dragonborn that saved the world. It looks like my name will never be forgotten. I should have been careful what I wished for. But in the end of it all, I don't think I really had any choice in all this. My story was written long before I was even born. It might have been cold there, but I was sweating under that armor. This is where it all happened. Where I became Dragonborn. Where my team was wiped out, and I almost lost Serana to Dragonfire. This was where it all started. The dragon wiped out the men guarding the fort, but was injured from its fight. On the way to Winterhold for the hunt of this Elder Scroll, we met this dragon, and I was forced to fight it. Luckily, due to its wounds, I was able to kill it. And then I ate its soul. Then the world shook, and a name tore across the skies like thunder. It was the call of the Dragonborn. It was for me. And now, I'm back on this path looking for the Elder Scroll of Dragons with a new team for a new quest. The last time that scroll was seen was in the hands of the ancient Nord heroes. It's been thousands of years since then. It could be anywhere by now, even in the White Gold Tower or locked away somewhere in the Somersets. Who knows? But the college is our best bet of finding a clue. Those mages would know all about things like Elder Scrolls. Centauros remarks that mages are always messing around with things they have no right to be. This damn war. Each soldier lost is one less soldier defending Skyrim from our real enemies, the dragons. I wish they could see that. By the time they do, there won't be enough of them to fight back. This war has claimed thousands already. Both Sigund and Centauros know the cost all too well. I've tried to put them together, but they can't see the bigger picture. Time warring against each other has clouded their senses to what's right in front or above them. I'm getting one of these strange feelings again, like I'm drawing closer to someone. Another companion? Somebody I don't even know. But somehow I trust them with my life. That's never going to make any sense. I trust the two behind me with my own life, but not with each other's. What a grand sight. A sort of castle sitting on a pillar out on its own. And the view from here is beautiful. It might be freezing, but it feels like you can see all of Skyrim from here. When we got close, the door to the place opened on its own. I shouldn't be surprised for where I am, but seeing that sort of magic is exciting. Imagine using magic to open doors or clean your house. That would be amazing. Look at that statue. How in Talos is that using magic? That's incredible. It looks so awe-inspiring. Imagine coming here to train to be a mage. It would be pretty crazy. My mother was a mage, more of a healer, but she still knew magic. She would heal our cuts, or, with a snap of her fingers, bring the fireplace to life. I remember hearing stories about this place as a girl, the only place in all of Skyrim where magic wasn't shunned. My people have had a proud and powerful history with magic, but nowadays Skyrim looks down upon magic and those who use it. Winterhold before it fell off into the sea was a place of magic from what I was told. The lanterns never went out, and there were stories where the inns would clean themselves, and the instruments needed no bards to play. It sounded like a real magical city. Skyrim might not like magic, but I believe it will be of great use once more against the dragons. And maybe the people of Skyrim will come to appreciate magic once more when it's used to ward off or take down dragons. I only hope mages across Skyrim will join me in this fight. I feel as if one is about to. That feeling has grown stronger. It feels like whoever it is I'm destined to meet is here within this library with me right now. I asked around and I was told to speak to the librarian about any information I'll need on an Elder Scroll. He's an orc, the only one in the college. All the places to find an orc, and he's a bookworm. It's none of them. Maybe he's behind that desk up ahead. That looks like an orc, green-skinned and tusked. That's the man I need to speak to. Wait, that's the one. That's her. The one giving me that feeling, I think. It feels like her. But normally, everyone that I've had this feeling about has had the same one. She would have noticed me by now if she was one of them.
I don't want to see you treating any of these books poorly. Are we clear? And what do you plan to do with it? Do you even know what you're asking about? Or are you just someone's errand girl?
Might have been a librarian, but he definitely had the demeanor of an orc.
I knew it. Everyone comes in here expecting my help, but they don't even have the proper questions. An Elder Scroll is an instrument of immense knowledge and power. To read an Elder Scroll, a person must have the most rigorously trained mind, or else risk madness. Even so, the Divines usually take the reader's sight as a price. Ah, you think that even if I did have one here, I would let you see it? It would be kept under the highest security. The greatest thief in the world wouldn't be able to lay a finger on it. Of course. I'll bring everything we have on them, but it's not much. So don't get your hopes up. It's mostly lies, leavened with rumor and conjecture.
The college didn't have an Elder Scroll, but they had information on them. I don't know how useful books are going to be, but anything is better than nothing. I wonder who she is. She's a high elf, but something is telling me she's nothing like any high elf I've known.
Anything on them. What do you want?
I saw a book off in the corner. It looked like that book Esbern had. I asked if I could have it, but he told me that this isn't a bookstore. He wouldn't sell it to me. This book feels like the right one to read. I better check it out. It's written by somebody that works here, called Septimus Cygnus.
Did I just hear what I thought I heard? Someone's looking for an Elder Scroll? Wait, is that the Dragonborn? What does she want with an Elder Scroll? There's something about her. I can't place the feeling. That has to be the Dragonborn. Nobody in Skyrim but them has a Stormcloak and Imperial by their side.
I read the book. Well, I tried to. But whoever wrote this is either a lunatic or has had one too many skumas. It made no sense. Maybe this Urag knows more.
Aye, that's the work of Septimus Cygnus. He's the world's master of the nature of Elder Scrolls, but, well, he's been gone for a long while. Too long. Oh no, I hope not. But even I haven't seen him in years, and we were close. Became obsessed with the Dwemer. Took off north saying he had found some old artifact. Haven't seen him since. Somewhere in the ice fields, if you want to try to find him.
How can we go more north than we are now? Anyway, I need to find this Septimus. I'm told he's a master on the topic of Elder Scrolls. But if he wrote that book, I don't know how useful he's going to be if he's lost his mind.
What in the Shivering Isles is happening? A Dragonborn, an Imperial, and a Stormcloak walking into the college. That would be a good start to a joke if it really didn't happen. I need to find out what's going on. Get to the bottom of why they are here and find out if they're really after an Elder Scroll. I had a talk with Urag, and it turns out they really were after an Elder Scroll. He sent them to find Septimus up north. There's no way I'm staying out of this one. That's the book she wanted. She can have it. Urag will have to get over it. Now I just have to catch up to them.
Well, it wasn't a complete waste yet. We need to cross the frozen sea to find some old cave out there where this Septimus is staying. Hopefully he isn't insane and knows something about this Elder Scroll and can give us a lead to follow. But reading that book was like trying to understand
Dragonborn, wait up!
Wait. That was the high elf inside the library. What did she want? She told me that she was the Archmage of the College of Winterhold, that her name was Minerva. She told me she could be of use, but she wanted to talk to me alone. My companions didn't trust her because she was a high elf, but she wasn't one of the Thalmor. So, I agreed. There's something special about this one. I know it. I told Centuros and Sigun to wait with the others. I wanted to hear what she had to say. I can't deny the connection I have with her. It was the same for all of them. Hopefully, like the rest of them, she wants to help. If she's the archmage of this college, then she has to be a very powerful mage. And I'm going to need someone like that helping us fight the dragons. She led me into her quarters. The place looked very enchanting. You could feel the magic flowing through the place. It was crazy. There were potions everywhere, books all over the place, soul gems and magical staffs. This place looked how you would imagine a mage's home would look.
Thank you for taking the time to speak to me. Now, I overheard that you're looking for an Elder Scroll. You see, I'd be interested in helping you find it. If and when you're done with whatever you need it for, I'd like to keep it for the college.
Well, if you're willing to get those hands dirty, we could use the help. We need someone who knows how to use magic. I've only got one mage currently.
Oh, don't worry about my hands getting dirty. I've explored many ancient ruins and lived off the land during my travels. I'm not all beauty, after all. I'm the Archmage, after all. I can handle myself with blade or magic. Trust me, Dragonborn. Having someone like me with you would not only be a benefit to you, but your entire team, even all of Skyrim, I'd say. I'll go with you, and I'll talk to Septimus. He's one of mine, after all. And I'll help you find this Elder Scroll if you allow me to keep it once you no longer have need of it.
It's a deal. I've already found 2 of them. Why would I need a 3rd? When I no longer need it, it's the college's.
You've already found 2 Elder Scrolls. What are you, a walking Elder Scrolls tracker? Amazing. Then this shouldn't be too hard since you're the master of finding Elder Scrolls.
This Archmage Minerva would help us find this Elder Scroll, only if when I'm done with it, she can take it back to the college. I accepted her offer. She is, after all, a powerful mage and knows this Septimus. She will be of great use. She told me she would be around in 15 minutes. So I guess I'll update everyone that this Archmage will be taking the lead for the Elder Scroll hunt.
It was time to set off on another adventure, but somehow, looking back, it felt like I wouldn't be back here for a while. Very strange. I had ventured deep into many ruins in my time and discovered many lost secrets to the ages. But this was a hunt for an Elder Scroll, the very pages of fate itself. I would be helping the Dragonborn find it, a young Nord woman who could eat the souls of dragons. Many had come to follow her, but maybe too many.
Ready to get going?
I told her that this could be a dangerous quest, and that having this many followers could get all of them into trouble. I advised her to cut down her team, and that's what she did. She cut down her team, but I still thought there were too many. That tall one, is that Lyris? It's been many years. I wonder if she remembers me. I'm glad she's still alive. We set off to Septimus's hideaway. He found some cave up north many years ago before I arrived, and he's been there ever since. Hopefully he has clues on the location of this Elder Scroll. The Dragonborn and I would go further on, while the rest would wait here. It would be too much of a risk with everyone out there on the ice, and we don't want to startle Septimus. He's older than me, and I'm an elf, and by the sounds of it, a little unhinged. After some time, we made it past the ice and found Septimus's cave or iceberg. Here we would either find him dead or very much alive. An old man shouldn't live this far out on his own. By the looks of this cave, it looked Dwemer. What were they doing out here, and how did they build this in the sea? What was this place? It looked quite comfortable for being this far out. And where is Septimus? An old Imperial shouldn't be hard to find in this place. Ah, look at that. Talk about the Daedra, and they shall appear. He's still alive. That's good. What in the 8 is that? That looks like some puzzle door. Very interesting. Might have to find out more later on. I told the Dragonborn to wait here, and I'll talk to him about this Elder Scroll. He'll be easier to talk to since I'm from the college. The last thing Septimus needs is some heavy-armored woman with burning eyes talking him down.
And is the maximum apex. Elder Scrolls, indeed. The Empire They absconded with them. Or so they think. The ones they saw. The ones they thought they saw. I know of one. Forgotten. Sequestered. But I cannot go to it. Not poor Septimus. For I have arisen beyond its grasp. Here. Well, here as in this plain. Mundus, Tamriel, nearby. Relatively speaking. On the cosmological scale, well, it's all nearby. One block lifts the other. Septimus will give what you want, but you must bring him something in return. You see this masterwork of the Dwemer, deep inside their greatest knowings. Septimus is clever among men, but he is but an idiot child compared to the dullest of the Dwemer. Lucky then they left behind their own way of reading the Elder Scrolls. In the depths of Black Reach, one yet lies. Have you heard of Black Reach? Cast upon where Drimmer City slept, the yearning spire hidden learnings kept. Under deep, below the dark, the hidden keep, Tower Mzark. Oftan, the point of puncture, of first entry of the tapping. Delve to its limits, and Black Reach lies just beyond. But not all can enter there. Only Septimus knows the hidden key to loose the lock, to jump beneath the deathly rock. Two things I have for you. Two shapes. One edged, one round. The round one for tuning. Dwemer music is soft and subtle, and needed to open their cleverest gates. The edged lexicon for inscribing. To us, a hunk of metal. To the Dwemer, a full library of knowings, but empty. Find Mzark and its sky dome. The machinations there will read the scroll and lay the lore upon the cube. Trust Septimus. He knows you can know. To glimpse the world inside an Elder Scroll can damage the eyes or the mind, as it has to Septimus. The Dwemer found a loophole, as they always do, to focus the knowledge away and inside without harm. Place the lexicon into their contraption, and focus the knowings into it. When it brims with glow, bring it back, and Septimus can read once more.
I had a feeling this would be a long adventure. We're off to the Tower of Mzark, but it's in a place called Black Reach. I've only heard stories about it. I've never been able to get in. The paths in the other Dwemer ruins were locked off, but there should be a passage to Black Reach from Alftand, and now I have the key to open the path ahead. How exciting! On the hunt for an Elder Scroll in a Dwemer city. What a dream come true. No matter how long I spend in Dwemer ruins, they always seem to surprise me. I swear, if they didn't vanish, they would be the leaders of this world today. They've been gone for more than 1,000 years, and they're still leagues above what we have today, or what we will have in another 1,000 years. Looks like someone has camped up here. Doesn't look like it's been empty for too long. The gateway to get in looked locked. Might have to find another way in. Yes, the way into Alftand was sealed shut. We'll have to look around. With time, these ruins have fallen apart, and nature has opened a way into these ancient cities. There was another way in. Somebody had built a path into a part of the ruins that was exposed by the ice. Maybe it was those who had camped here? This feels like it's going to be a long journey. By the time we get out, it might be a few more sunsets away, or this could be our last. No matter. No risk, no reward. We're going to make history here, or like I said, become part of it.
These are the most dangerous, but the most profitable types of ruins.
She wasn't wrong. Dwemer ruins are by far the most dangerous, but the rewards for delving into them are far greater. Most ruins require undead to protect them, but the Dwemer ruins have automatons, and the ruins themselves are trying to kill you. It's amazing and terrifying. It was those who came before us who built the catwalk. I wonder if they're still here or have been claimed by the ruins. There's way too much blood here. By the looks of it, they're dead. They didn't get very far. It's either the automatons or the darn Falmer. The further we went down, the more blood we found. There seemed to be a great fight here. How many were there for this much blood? Wait, who was that? It seems that there's a survivor who appears to be suffering from skooma withdrawal. It looks like it's driven him mad. We finally made it into the city. Looks like we'll be facing the automatons. I wonder how many they destroyed before whoever they were killed off. This feels exciting. It's been too long since I went into a Dwemer ruin. I have a feeling this is going to take a while, but I'm just happy to be back in these sorts of places. I was made to explore and discover long-lost secrets, not to be a teacher and mentor to others. I'm good at it, but it's well boring. Looks like the team before us managed to survive up to this point, but the way through is blocked off, so it looks like we'll have to find another way. That was a sneaky little one. The first of many, no doubt. It's that mad Khajiit. If he comes close to me, I'm putting him down. That was a mercy killing. Better by my hands than by the Falmer or the Cold. Maybe there's more of his crew still alive further down. I can hear people chipping away at the walls up ahead. Could they be that Khajiit's crew, or what's left of them? I can hear the dwarven machines up ahead. Hopefully this team is ready for what's to come. Most or all of them might not have even fought one of these automatons before. After we cleaned up the machines, we faced a trap. I overheard some of her team have never even been into ruins like this. So I'll have to disarm this trap so the most simple of them don't kill everyone when the blades start spinning. I took some ebony arrows from their rogue and jammed them into the pressure plates. That way, these traps won't go off and kill everyone. I don't know about Lyris, though. That woman is big enough to kick the side of this ruin and bring a wall down. Seems to be working. We have to be aware. There are always more traps, ones you can't see until you're right on them, or they're in you. That's a far way down. Everyone is going to have to be careful. One slip and it's all over, even more so if we have to fight our way down from here. I teleported down and found one of the previous team's members. Looks like the ground below her gave out, or she fell off and died from the fall. I was attacked by the Dwemer left behind, those that were already dead before they vanished. They didn't have to guard their ruins with the dead, but hey, why not? Add some more things that actively try to kill intruders. We went deep enough to find the Falmer. Those nasty little bastards are in almost every dwarven ruin. Once a proud people, now disgusting cannibals that live in the darkness. Wait, are those people? What are they doing? Are they helping the farmer? What in the eight? They were people. Some have even mutilated themselves to become blind. What in oblivion is going on here? This is appalling. Never thought I'd see a Falmer cult. But like I said, these places keep on surprising no matter how many times you travel into them. That doesn't look like one of their cultists. That might have been one of the team before us. The fate that awaited her corpse, to be eaten by the farmer and their twisted little cult, is disgusting. Just like whoever that poor soul was, eaten for meat and skinned for leather. The farmer certainly don't waste. If any more come here when we're done, they'll have plenty to eat. Their own and their deranged little cultists. Looks like we made it to the bottom, well, at least to this level. This will go further down into the very heart of Tamriel itself. The gate ahead was locked. There's always some sort of lever to open these sorts of gates. It's somewhere around here. Ah, there it is. That will open the gate. We found the gateway to this Black Reach, but we come across a scene from 2 survivors of the last team that came before us.
Just waiting for me to turn my back, so you can have all the glory for yourself. Keep an eye out for trouble.
But then the Imperial betrayed his companion and tried to kill her. Unlucky for him, we were there to stop him. She thanked us for helping out. It turns out she and that Imperial were the last ones of the group we found, crazy or dead. All of her team had died. We told her we were going further down. She asked if she could tag along. She knew better than to go on her own. It's always better to have company in such places until they're trying to kill you. The last survivor of the previous team was called Umana. She would join us. Now we just had to open the way into Blackreach. This will be a first for myself and everyone following me. That was a close one. These Dwemer locks always amaze me. How far does it go down until we reach the center of Nirn? The only people that could answer that are long gone now. I'm so excited to see where this leads. I've heard stories about this Black Reach. I can't wait to see it with my own eyes. By the gods, it was beautiful. It was like being in a foreign land that nobody had ever discovered. It was so out of this world. I've never seen anything like it, not even in the Dwemer ruins in Hammerfell. And it wasn't cold, nor was it hot. There was also a breeze, I have no idea how. It seemed like we were hundreds of meters down. The place had a very nice temperament. It felt nothing like the colds of Skyrim. Damn it, looks like there are Dwemer machines down here. If they're here, no doubt the Falmer are here too. Damn it, they are. Those creatures are here. Can't go anywhere in Skyrim within a dwarven ruin without those creatures hiding away in the dark. I don't have time right now to explore this place. When I'm done here, I'll set up for a few months and explore this place to my heart's content. But right now, I need to press on and find this Elder Scroll. The Dragonborn told me that this scroll was used against the dragon Alduin back in the Mythic era. And sometime after that, the Dwemer got their hands on it. And from what Septimus has said, the Dwemer made a machine to read the Elder Scrolls without risking injury. They could even defy the punishment of the gods. What in the eight is that?
You think you stand a chance? So be it.
Even Blackreach has its own guardians. Amazing. How in oblivion does that Falmer know we're here? They're meant to be blind. How does it fire upon us? Something I'll never understand. This place was utterly massive, like a world of its own under Skyrim. This was no mere cave. You could house an entire new country under here. What I wanted to see was that ball of light. Did the Dwemer make their own sun? These people, they knew too much. They were messing around with the powers of the gods. When we reached the Dwemer Plaza, we came across more of those crazy Falmer cultists, and the Falmer who now lived here since their masters were gone. How could anybody mutilate themselves and follow these creatures? It was disgusting. Ending their lives was like cleaning the mud underneath a boot. I can't wait to come back here and explore this entire ruin. There's no doubt secrets to be unearthed, but I have a quest to complete, and I have the key to get back down here. We need to press on. The Tower of Mzark is near. There it is. That's where this Elder Scroll is being housed. This team isn't too bad. Many skilled fighters here. The Dragonborn has got herself some competent followers. How she managed to get the Stormcloak and Imperial followers without killing each other is impressive. No doubt they seek her allegiance for their sides in the war. The only reason they would join her. Anybody with eyes can see that. Even the Falmer can see that. She's managed to get the Harbinger of the Companions to follow along, and 2 soldiers on different sides of the war to follow her without killing each other. Even by the looks of her armor, a nightingale. By the 8, I feel like I want to join on. This has been fun, and these dragons are a problem. If she's the only one that can stop them, then I should lend my skills to help take these dragons out. Might be time to leave the college and set out with this young Nord. I've grown bored, and this is where I could be needed. We were on the lift for about 30 minutes, but when we reached the end, I could smell smoke from a fire, and I could hear movement in the room ahead of us. Didn't smell like Falmer. Would have been more of those damn crazies ahead of us. When I opened the door, there were 2 women armed and waiting for us. They were surprised and demanded to know who we were. They looked scared. Using that lift would have made some noise, and those Falmer servants would have known how to use this. This must be why they were ready to attack us. They thought we were the crazies. I told them I wasn't here to bring them harm unless they attacked us. I sheathed my blade, and thankfully it calmed them, and they put their weapons away. They weren't cultists, they were elves. Wait, there's no way. I couldn't believe my eyes. Their skin and hair, they are white as the snow. By the gods, these are snow elves. I couldn't believe it. They were really snow elves. We believed them all to be dead. Well, not dead, but what they were as a people dead. All that's left are those creatures. The one who could see told me she's been alive for 700 years, that she wandered down here looking for her people and came across the other snow elf. She told me that sometimes when the Falmer have babies, very few are born as snow elves, not those creatures we call the Falmer. But they are born blind, yet somehow they can still see. Not with their eyes, but with their hearing, their smell, and the movement of the wind. She told me she was attacked by what she called the Twisted, and the other ones saved her life. She was born one of them, but not deformed like the others. She tells me she has seen a few, but all of the others were aggressive just like the other Falmer. This other Falmer, shall I say? She couldn't talk, but she could understand. This is an utterly rare and amazing discovery. Snow elves alive. We had been down here for what felt like a day. Everyone took the time to rest and fill their bellies. But I wanted to speak to the Falmer, well, the snow elf. Her kind have been gone for thousands of years. They were the original inhabitants of Skyrim before the Nords. Her people are pretty much extinct. Her race, her culture, and even her people's history. The only history of her people that is known is that of their butchery and defeat. I had so many questions about her people, but she didn't have the answers. She wasn't born when her people fell. All she knows is that her great-grandparents fled before the Falmer made a pact with the Dwemer, that they hid. She said the very chest plate she has was her grandfather's when he fought against the Nords. That she even joined the College of Winterhold, that the Archmage knew what she was and protected her. But she left to travel the old ruins to look for her people and to discover what happened to them. Before she came here, she found the other Falmer. She named Fywen. She's been here for around 90 years, longer than I've been alive. It's amazing how long the old races of elves used to live. She looks around my age, but is 700 years old, 300 years older than Altmer naturally live. I told her why we were here, for an Elder Scroll and some machine to translate their knowledge. She didn't know of an Elder Scroll, but she told me of a room up ahead that had some Dwemer machinery, a giant ball and buttons. This sounded like what we were looking for. But she warned me it's guarded by a ghost of a Dwemer, that if she got too close, it would attack her. It sits above her way out of this ruin. This must be the gigantic ball. This looks like the sort of stuff in Septimus's outpost. The machine the Dwemer built to read the Elder Scroll. How they even managed to think of something like this baffles me. We really are but idiot children to the Dwemer. That looks to be our angry ghost guarding this machine, or what they have inside the machine from the last time they used it. Embora tells me she gets to here and then runs to get onto the lift since the ghost starts attacking her. Won't be too hard. Just another Dwemer spirit to put to rest. I better go tell the Dragonborn that I've found where her Elder Scroll is. Then I can get to work trying to get it out of the Dwemer's hands.
Yes?
I told her that we had found the Elder Scroll, but I'll need some time to retrieve it. I assured her that no more traveling or combat was needed. To get the Elder Scrolls, all we needed was brains, and luckily I brought enough for everyone. It was now time to put this old ghost to rest and figure out how this machine works, so we can get the Elder Scroll out of it. This could take days, even weeks. I had removed this machine's guardian. Now I need to place the lexicon there and figure out how to use this thing. Looks to be some sort of light lock, similar to what I faced in Mzulft. To be honest, I have no idea how to use this. I'll just press buttons until things make sense.
I heard the room next to us moving. I wanted to see what was going on. What was Minerva doing in here? The place looked so weird. The dwarves were a strange people, to be sure. All this, I don't even know what to call it or what any of it does. But she's been into places like this. I'm glad we have her here. She'll know how to get the Elder Scroll. I'm really surprised by her. She's not your usual mage. She likes to use a blade and loves this kind of exploring. I don't think I've ever met an elf like her before. She was reading some journal. She said she found it by a body underneath us. Someone else came here looking to unlock this place. She looks to be deep in thought. I better just let her do her thing. I'll watch.
I was hoping to find some clues on how to work this thing from the one who died trying. But there's nothing here. I'm just going to have to press buttons until something starts to happen, or before I blow up this contraption. Now I have the Dragonborn watching me make a fool out of myself. Time to tinker around and figure it out as we go. That one went backwards. So left is forward and right is backward. Guess I'll keep hitting the left one. That seems to be a good sign. Nothing blew up and a new button unlocked. Very nice. Well, that was a little too easy. The Dwemer locked away an Elder Scroll with this. A Nord child dropped on their head could have unlocked this. Maybe it was designed that way to ward off smart people. There it was, the Elder Scroll this Dragonborn was after. It was now up to her to retrieve it.
She unlocked the Elder Scroll. Thank the gods we finally have it. All of what's happened to me over the last month was because of this scroll. I became Dragonborn because of this scroll. I became the one thing that could shield the people of Skyrim from the dragons. I need to show the others. I had to show everyone what we had found. I had seen two before I knew of their importance. But the others, they had never seen the writings of the gods before. Everyone's eyes were glued to the scroll. These were things of legends, scrolls that could tell the future or send things through time. What I held in my hand was time itself, the very scroll that will send me back in time to see how the ancient Nords used Dragonrend, so I can use it to ground the dragons. These scrolls told prophecies of the future. In my hands, no doubt told the story of another who isn't even born yet, who will be called like I had to save the world from the threat it will face in the future. All of our lives are written in these scrolls. They say that reading such things takes the reader's eyesight or makes them crazy. Who knows what this scroll has to say? Is it written how some of us live? How we die? It seems so daunting that our choices aren't our own, that we are all following the threads of fate. Under the illusion, our life choices are our own. When we were getting ready to move out, it looked like Minerva was inviting the snow elf to her college. She was very interested in the two of them. I don't know how long we were down here for, but it feels like it was forever. We found the Elder Scroll. Now we just had to get it back to Sky Haven. We all needed some rest before we climbed the throat of the world again. When we got out, it was still night, but close enough to first light. Minerva told me that she would like to continue this journey, but had to gather some things. I told her we were in Sky Haven. I told her not to attack the Reachmen there, that they weren't our enemies. In a few days, she will meet us at Sky Haven Temple. We had to travel back during the dark, but the sun would soon rise. Gods, we were all tired and exhausted. I could sleep for an entire day. Soon I will discover this Dragonrend shout. Soon I'll be able to bring them to the ground. Then I'll be forced to fight dragons instead of going around and trying to dodge them. I'll have to go right at them, put some fear into these creatures, remind them that their actions have consequences. I've got no other choice. I'm the only one who can kill them. In times past, the Nords used shouts. Those Nords could fight dragons. Now the only thing that can stop them is numbers. If they kill one, Alduin finds the body and brings it back to life. Finally, we're home. Finally, we can all rest. In 3 days, we will leave for the 7,000 steps. But until then, we need to mend our wounds and regain our strength. The Elder Scroll was ours. All we needed now was some time to recover. And then we will make the journey to read the scroll where it was used to send Alduin further in time. There, I'm told I'll see what happened thousands of years ago. There, I will learn Dragonrend. Then I'll be able to bring this Alduin to the ground and kill him once and for all.
Welcome to the chapter 48 sort of background information sort of stuff. Inspires the story, what kind of made it, blah blah blah. I don't want to go for 30 minutes for this one, hopefully I don't. I just want to cut out certain bits and sections that I thought were important about the story and I'll get to that through certain scenes, so I won't go through it all like I do with the other ones. Just for context, these stories come out 2 weeks after I complete them, so I have completed this one on a Monday in Australia, or what is the date? On the 19th, and this will come out 2 more weeks from now, because this kind of the way I do things, it kind of makes sense, and that way I at least have one done and 2 or more, or one's on the way, or one's got like another 2 weeks away, fortnightly sort of release. So it's good that I can continue to play my game, edit and work on it without being overloaded with trying to keep up a story thing, blah blah blah. But if you're not really interested in, well, if you've gone through an hour of watching that, fucking congratulations. But if you're not really too interested in background, sort of sources of what inspires the scenes, you know, this sort of explaining a bit more, probably not for you. If you watched the video, congratulations. Thanks for that. If you've got any thoughts, leave a comment. If you like the video, like the video. If you dislike the video, dislike it. And if you definitely disliked it, let me know what you disliked, because that's always good to learn, especially this is the first run of my story. I imagine I'll do a part 2 one day. Fucking not anytime soon though, give me a break. Anyway, let's get to the chapter 48 review. So this right here, I decided it was time to update her armor. Now, naturally, sometimes the story writes itself, right? I wasn't planning this, but again, with the new textures done by Xavier, I don't know how to say his name, it starts with an X. He went and did a lot of the immersive armors, and he gave the sort of samurai armor a very good, clean update. It made it look very good. Beforehand, it looked like utter shit. Its texture work looked like Play-Doh. Didn't like the armor. But I thought it was a good time for a progression update, that she's joined the Blade, she's in the HQ, and her old armor's taken a bit of a hit from a couple dragons. It might be time she updates into something for the faction that she's now joined or helped establish themselves, that she's got their unique armor, an armor that was designed to hunt down and kill dragons from dragon slayers back in those times. You know, this is that armor. Now it looks quite clean, and since she's now the Dragonborn, the Blades are sworn to protect her, she will wear their finest armor. She's not, of course, an empress or anything like that. She's an actual a dragon hunter. So I thought it'd be a good time to move out of the Dawnguard armor and jump into something new, more designed for dragons. And again, I'm not playing this. It just flicked into my head when I saw it on the ground. I was like, holy shit, that'd be a cool idea. So now she's wearing, well, dragon armor. She gets to wear some cool ass gear that looks very similar to the Blade's armor, but unique, and it looks like she can throw down with dragons now. It's, I don't know, it feels more faction time appropriate to change her armor up and put her in something brand new, because again, this is going to be sort of the armor that readies her for her next armor, which will be a lot heavier and have a very similar thing to her helmet. She might not like the horns, but she's going to come to... Something's going to look very similar to this, her next armor. It's going to be made out of dragons, but it's going to, well, be similar, but a lot more heavier. And I like the update with this one. It feels so much more fresher. Just, you know, she feels more complete. Now, for context in this one, right, there's so much background to what Centaurus and Sigurd are, not just Imperial soldiers and Stormcloak soldiers, this and that. There's just so much to them, which I love, but these two sides of a different coin, of the same coin, sorry. They can't get their soldiers to join, because at the moment, while they're here fighting or, you know, protecting and fighting beside the Dragonborn, their armies are at war with each other, killing each other. So they can't get their troops, because their troops are employed or loyal to their, you know, the true High King Ulfric Stormcloak or to General Tullius. So the best thing they could do was get their housecarls, because their housecarls are loyal to them. They do fight by their side, and pretty much were, you know, given to them by an Imperial Jarl or a Stormcloak Jarl, but they are loyal to them, so they can call for their aid. And she's now got 6 housecarls that are now bent the knee to her and are loyal to her until the dragons are no longer a threat, sort of thing. And they will be made mortal, so all of them could die, even Lydia. You know, and Lydia's a fan favourite. You know, when it comes down to Skyrim fan favourite females, it's fucking a fight between Lydia and Serana. And I think I even want to make Serana mortal, even though she's meant to be something a bit more, but it could even be more potent to the story if the romance has led to that, but then she's rubbed with the leaderboard. But she annoyed me one time. I tried to kill her, it just didn't work. I tried everything in my power, the console commands, mods, she just wouldn't die. But this is their first contribution to the Dragonborn when it comes to people to fight by her side. Those housecarls that were loyal to them, that they earned throughout their journeys. So with this one, I did talk. When I did my last story, which hasn't even come out yet, I'm pretty sure by the time I'm filming this. When I did my last story, I decided to ally with the Reachman because I was nowhere near ready and had nowhere near enough troops, and even I could not survive against an attack. I tried it, it didn't work. So the best thing was peace. And I didn't have at the time a leader created. The idea was there, but I didn't create him, and eventually I thought, right, if he's not there yet, maybe he's out there raiding other Reachmen or guards or this and that. And eventually when she sets up shop and she establishes herself inside this temple that's in their territory, he'll rock up and he'll come into the front door, because at the end of the day, there's a lot of them there now, but he's still got an entire, he's probably got 50, freaking 60 Reachmen out there, probably more, I dare say. They could surround him. And these guys could no doubt definitely kick their way out of there, but it'd be at a cost of a lot of blood, and a lot of them would fall in the process of killing these Reachmen, because the Reachmen are absolutely barbaric NPCs to fight. They love archery, they love magic, and the mod madmen, folks of the Reach, is fucking, they turn to werewolves and werebears. It's nuts. So I finally decided to create him, and yeah, he's an older sort of leader, more loyal to Carspire than he was to the King and Rags. He did support the movement, but when it died off, he went back to Carspire to make sure that his people were okay, and sort of the tribes kind of split up to where there's bad tribes of Reachmen, good tribes of Reachmen, and we're in one of the good ones right now, which I like to think is I would love to see a mod where someone adds Carspire and turns it into a settlement with named NPCs and spellmakers, and that'd be fucking amazing, man. Actually, being in a friendly part of the Reach would be awesome, especially that quest line when you actually have to use it as the Dragonborn. She has gone through a lot in a short time, and she hasn't got all the, she knows the first dragon she fought, but it's not on the top of her mind. She's got a lot of pressure, going on in that brain of hers, a lot of crazy shit, a lot of responsibility, she's got the entire world on her shoulders. And out of nothing, but looking at a dead thing and remembering Oblivion, she remembers the dragon that told her to speak its name. Back then it was inconsequential. It's what the fuck, how can I say your name and all of a sudden you appear? That makes no goddamn sense, because she had no idea she was Dragonborn. But somehow, Dunavir did. And it connected in her head the dots, and she thought, alright, well if I say his name, I'm Dragonborn, he actually might appear. And boom, he appears. Be a useful ally. But I'm telling you right now, his dragon cooldown goes for fucking ever. And there's a pain in the ass, this guy, because everything that he grows aggro to, my entire team does. So he's got a goddamn, fucking 3 kilometer aggro radius, and if he spots something far off in the distance, my teammates run over to try and kill it, and it was goddamn distracting and annoying. So, I don't know, I want to use him in a dragon fight, but he might be a pain in the ass, because he seems to also grab aggro against my followers when he lands or hits them with a spell. They try to attack him. It's a nightmare, but whatever. I might see if I can give him some factions. But again, I think this will be a good thing for the future, when she gets into dragon hunting, that she might actually have a dragon on her side that she can, that can help her kill dragons. Now, I like this scene because it's kind of where Tynarok's story began when he was a whelp, and he actually had a Yayla on his quest to find the fragment of Wuthrag, and she's the one that turned into a werewolf in front of him, and it's kind of a bit of a callback to memory lane, a couple of years later, and especially now that Ayala's daughter's here, because in my game she's older, because she sounds older in the game. She's the female commander voice. She sounds like she's a mature woman. And the entire crew, she's in a relationship with Sigurjor, who's also an older man, so it makes sense that she's meant to be older, and that the two twins are meant to be the young members of the circle and the companions. The 3 elders are the main circle members, and the 2 twins are the new members. So I made her look her actual age, or what perceived as her age, and I gave her a daughter who was a pure-born werewolf that was discovering, Tamriel, and when the dragons came back, she came back to aid her people. So she's a pure-born werewolf with, that come back to aid her mother and her people, which I thought was a pretty added bonus, pretty cool. I liked it, I thought, well, let's expand some stories. This is what this entire thing is all about. Expanding Skyrim stories, and why not chuck a daughter in there that was out there exploring the world, just like Majol was before she came back home. She'll also join the team eventually. I love coming back to these places, because I've been here once before, but in a different character. And Tynarok's been to another one where you meet that Ultima that pretends to be an Imperial or a Stormcloak. And it feels so weird walking through this ruin once more, but it's empty. But it wasn't you, it wasn't that character that explored it. I mean, the last time I was here was probably a year ago in real life, when I did Tynarok's story. When he came in here and he noticed the wall, it gave him a weird feeling, like it had a presence in his future. And it did. Not for him, but for the person that he would follow, it'd be important to her. And I've talked about this long in the past during those chapters, and it's finally here. I mean, this is what it's all come down to. Having these stories all match up. You know, to him when he looked upon the wall, there was nothing. No sound, no chanting, no word. It just felt weird to him, like it had meaning. And now, this is the meaning behind it. And she'll come across these other ruins that, you know, the Thieves Guild character was in, the Mages Guild character was in, or college character, and his character. And, of course, the Assassin. He doesn't join onto the team because he's not a very good guy. But this is what I was talking about like a year ago. All these stories, all their paths are now crossing, all now aligning. And it's finally good to show you guys what I meant by that, finally, after a goddamn year. Now, I'm a stickler for meaning, right? It boils in my head. I don't know, it just lives rent-free. It annoys the shit out of me. Probably got ADHD. In base vanilla, you become the Dragonborn by killing a dragon at a watchtower, and boom, you're the Dragonborn. But this is the Elder Scrolls. So I thought, wouldn't it mean a lot more if the Dragonborn becomes the Dragonborn by searching for an Elder Scroll called the Dragon Scroll? I mean, that right there is just like, boom, 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 boom. It makes so much sense that the only way she becomes Dragonborn is by fate lining her up to hunt a dragon, to hunt an Elder Scroll that's named Dragon. It was just like every step of the way was clear, was fate's, decision. It was leading up to that. It wouldn't have happened any other way. If she could have decided not to hunt that Elder Scroll, and it never became Dragonborn. But since she was hunting the scroll of, the Elder Scroll of the Dragons, she come across a dragon and became the Dragonborn. That right there was like, and I didn't even think it, I didn't plan that. It just, boom, it sat in my head when I sat back and I'm editing this. I'm thinking, holy fuck, dude, that was, it was like fate was deciding, making me tell this story like this. It's fucking nuts. It just sometimes, pardon the pun, just works. And that blew my mind, man, how lined this was, that to just have so much meaning without me even purposely trying to do it, was fucking nutters. Because this is the path she took. She didn't make it this far. She was with a different team on a different mission. To get the Elder Scroll Dragon to stop the vampires from darkening the sun. Now she's in that scroll to help her defeat Alduin, to bring him to the ground and kill him. That is her plan. But of course, plans don't always go to fruition. There's also a reason why I cut it off there. There was a purpose where I cut that quest off there at the Dragon Scroll hunt. Not because it was lining up to fate. It would make so much more sense that she becomes what she was hunting the Elder Scroll, named after the game itself, and the Elder Scroll of Dragons. It was because I didn't want to meet a certain character that lives inside that tower right there. I wanted to meet her not on the, it doesn't seem very... Look, no doubt Minerva would have been excited to find an Elder Scroll, but when a woman wearing weird armor walks into your library, and she walks in with a Stormcloak soldier and an Imperial soldier in the middle of a civil war, that's going to be a lot more that's going to grab your attention 10 times faster than some Dawnguard hunter and some pale-skinned Dawnguard hunter. They're hunting an Elder Scroll, it's pretty cool, I might help them out, but, can I have it when you're done? And then we got to go back and, as the Dragonborn, asking, but it just didn't seem like I wanted to meet this character, I wanted to meet her as the Dragonborn, not as some hunter. And this is why she turns around when she eats the Dragonborn, and fate dictates to her to turn back and follow the voice that called her. But now, we can finally do this. This is what, this is where it's all come to. She's back on the hunt for the Elder Scroll almost a month later. This entire scene has been living rent-free in my head for so long when I decided to do this story. And I'm actually so proud to finally get it. It sounds really stupid, but as someone that's writing the story and telling the story, it feels so proud to finally be here. I've always imagined how my Dragonborn character would meet my college character. These weren't just characters that I wanted to create so I could play many different roles in the one save. They all had a story purpose. Every last one of them, to tell a different story, that the Dragonborn wouldn't be the hero of all, the master of the guilds, the Thane of all holds, the one person that does absolutely fucking everything. It wasn't just, I didn't make them just to split it up and make it make more sense, but I made them to one day align their stories, all their different paths, to follow the one. To follow the Dragonborn. Every single character I've got in this game has their own story, their own path in life. But eventually, their paths will unite and follow behind one. And that's kind of what this was all for. You know, she wasn't just here to play the mage role and to stop the Dragonborn from being an overpowered god. She was here to eventually one day meet the Dragonborn, one day offer her services, and then aid her in shooting fireballs at dragons. You know, like, this is... It's proud for me to finally get here after a year of telling the story, or more, that we're finally able to meet Minerva. You know, she's one of my favourite characters. I love her because she's not just some boring mage. I'm not a big mage fan. I don't give two shits for it. But when I created her as an adventurer, philosopher, a bit of a naughty high elf, you know, because high elves are so up and tight and, you know, very old English, you know, fancy, proper, blah blah. I didn't want her to be that boring, so I wanted to change her up to be an adventurer, a historian, and then just someone that was so excited to party with everybody, you know, to love the culture, or to learn the culture where she is. You know, she loves Skyrim. The Nords are very open, very companionship to her, where her people are not. And she's not just a boring mage. She will use a sword. She is handy with survival and all that sort of stuff. And that's why I really like her. She's probably my most unique when it comes to characteristics. She's my most unique character. And like when I had her reading a book and overhearing what was going on in the corner, when she would have felt the same weird feeling. She turns her head, you know, after feeling this weird and overhearing what this lady's after, this woman. She's like, what the fuck? And she turns her head, and instantly she spots it's the Dragonborn, because there's a Stormcloak and Imperial with her. And by now those rumours are flaring all over Skyrim of the Dragonborn, who's got a Stormcloak and Imperial by her side. And this really intrigues her, not just because it's the Dragonborn, because she's hunting an Elder Scroll. I mean, Minerva's unearthed a shit ton of secret stuff in her time. You know, she's gone to some serious dangerous places and learnt ancient forgotten secrets. And hunting an Elder Scroll? Mate, those are the fates, those are the words written by the gods. You know, this is something 100% down her alleyway, and there's no chance in Oblivion she's going to miss that. You know, this is 100% her sort of thing, and going on an adventure and finding ancient, forgotten, powerful artifacts. This is all for, you know, this just gives her a massive hard-on. And she's 100% going to aid the Dragonborn, not because of the feeling that she's getting, but because of what the Dragonborn's doing. And eventually, she will come to aid the Dragonborn. It's finally good to actually meet the last guild character, because it's the same way with Topher, who's wearing the Thieves Guild armor, or sorry, the Nightingale armor. But we also get to reunite with, well, Minerva, and I don't know if, you know, if she'd really remember, because it happened so long ago, and they were all wearing their armor, so it's a couple of years have passed. But she's also kind of reuniting with an old companion or acquaintance at the time. That big ass tall bitch right there, Lyris. Well, they met a long time ago in some of my very first chapters when I started this. My second character, I think, no, my third or fourth character was my guild character, was Minerva's prequel story before she joined the mages in Winterhold. Let's go and check it out, kind of how she met Lyris, and there's going to be some future conversations of this later on between the characters of reconciliation, you know, seeing each other after so long. Now, this is chapter 4, part 2. Right there is Minerva, who are in that scene. She's been locked up. Yeah, she's done the whole Markarth Silverblood incident sort of thing. And right beside her is Lyris. Now, Lyris was locked up because she beat a dude because it slapped her on the ass, and she got 2 years in jail. But Lyris helped her escape and right all the wrongs, and pretty much we get to see Lyris throughout the companion storyline. But what happens after this is that she goes and joins the companions and becomes one. And this is exactly where she is in the story. She's joined the companions. She's joined Tonrock, Ayala, and her daughter Hattie, in aiding the Dragonborn. So they've met before, and this was like, I think, the year 199, something like that, and the current year in Skyrim is early 202. So they've met before in certain circumstances, and I've always thought about this, how they'd meet again, and this shit just lives in my head rent-free. I can't get it out, man. I think I got ADHD. Like, it controls me. Such a pain in the ass. But it's you know, they're meeting again after so long. Yeah, Minerva's she's a very intellectual woman. She's gonna remember things. Where maybe Lyris doesn't get flying shit. It was just a part of her past is all it was. You know, she might, you know, when the hood comes off and has a closer look, and when, you know, Minerva tells her who she is, the memory will click. But I'm not too sure she really focuses on what happened back then. It's just something that happened, not really worth the memory to keep it locked inside your head. Now, just a mod mention, this is a mod from JSPera called the Falmer Servants, which kind of adds more of them instead of just in the deepness of Blackreach. And I like this. They're also voice acted, and they're also half of them are mutilated, and they're wearing Falmer armor, so they could be kind of mistaken for Falmer. And this kind of leads to the idea of what you'll see with my female Falmer follower, the one that's blind, is that, you know, I've always thought, what if the Falmer, when they bred, not all of them were mutated like they were? That a very small chance of them was, like, not twisted. So, like, for example, this isn't a horrible example, by the way, two people with Down syndrome, the chance of them having a baby with Down syndrome would be very high, but, you know, the small chance that it came out without Down syndrome and was just a normal baby. You know, like, I don't think that's even possible, but it's, you know, this is a fantasy game, and maybe some of them come out looking like snow elves, but they're blind, and they're also, you know, savage, because they're not born, you know, they weren't born when snow elves were a proud people. You know, they were born in caves in the darkness, so they're savages. But I really like the whole Falmer Sev thing. It's like a Falmer cult, and when you fight a lot of them, they're mutilated. They've blinded themselves because they're, you know, they praise the Falmer or some shit. It's disgusting, but it adds more cults to the game, which I really like. Like, I like the fact there's people that are just, you know, that aren't right in the head, that have gone and, you know, worshipped these freaks of nature. I don't know why. I don't really need to know, but it's cool all the same, seeing humans actually serve them all the same. This dude was laying there, bro, when I killed him. He just looked like he was just chilling, eh? Just like, had a beer in his hand, a cigarette in the other. He's just like, hey, how you doing, bro? You chilling? Yeah, I'm chilling too. Like, it just... he looked like he was having a good time. Now with this, when I finish all these stories, I plan on continuing these stories with Minerva. There's so much she gets to explore. I mean, right now she's after an Elder Scroll, but she's never been to this place before, and she will 100% come back when her duties are done with the Dragonborn. I imagine her living in that home right there and discovering a couple new people that have come back from a certain place that have been gone from Tamriel for a very long time. Kind of a Morrowind Burrow idea. But the idea is still there, and she'll come down here and she'll explore this place thoroughly, and she'll, you know, learn about the Nern route sort of thing and all this sort of stuff. It's kind of give us her quests in the future to go exploring and adventuring after the Dragonborn's time, you know, after the whole quest line's done there. This is where I've always thought about her coming back here to explore the world, and I kind of, you know, it'd be like Adventures with Minerva. I don't know how exciting that'd be, but he's probably my most exciting character when it comes to adventure and that sort of stuff, but she'll 100% be back here because she's now got the key. And she's seen the place, and, you know, her interest is really spiked. She might be the one that learns the shout. She's a very intellectual, right? And she can learn shouts from the Dragonborn because she uses the female elf voice. And I'm pretty sure that voice has actually got Dragonborn voice lines. So during her time with the Dragonborn, she might learn a shout. She might learn how to ground dragons herself, or she might learn how to use Fusra or Fem or some other shouts, because she's a high intellectual individual and she's quite good with magic, and she might be able to learn it faster than others because of her, well, her wit or whatever. And she might shout at that sun and have a little bit of a surprise, which I've actually never done before, ever, in the 13 years I've played Skyrim. I've never shouted at it. I just never thought to shout at a fucking gigantic ball. And that, which apparently, I've always heard about the Blackreach dragon, but I thought it was like the dragon that's outside, which I always got attacked by back in the day. But no, there's actually a dragon in here. And it's kind of cool because obviously this is a dragon that wasn't slayed by the Akaviri. This is a dragon that's been in here. He's hidden here for thousands of years since his kind was slaughtered. You know, I don't even know. You could probably learn a shout and come here before the dragon's crisis has even happened. Which I don't know how the hell that would happen, or how that would work. I don't think it could. And boom, a dragon's there. But I really like this place because I'm just imagining Minerva running around exploring everything she possibly can. Now the Felmer are my favourite race. When it comes to like elves, I think the snow elves are just, I don't know why, man. I don't know if it's because they're like, their snow white skin, their snow white hair makes them look so beautiful. But for some reason I've always been really intrigued by, like, even when the Dawnguard DLC came out and I was like 17 or 18, I was just foaming at the mouth, like, oh, snow elves, that's fucking cool, man. Snow elves, like, I was foaming at the mouth. I was so excited, and I was so disappointed that they just added like 2. On that there was like no other way to fight anymore, and that there was no female snow elves, it was just dudes, and they were pretty much high elves just painted white. Or not even that, they were pretty much albino instead of Snow White. So I went and changed this, which could play into a story much later on with Galabor actually meeting more of his own kind. And I'll have to make sure I don't put those two in that quest line, because it'd be kind of like, I'm the only snow elf, then all of a sudden we've got 2 female snow elves behind me. But I kind of wanted to be a mix of a snow elf that is a part of a generation that didn't sign the pact with Dwemer, that they weren't, they didn't go with the rest of their people into slavery or any enclaves where they refused to surrender. This is just one that ran away into caves, and they ran away with their daughter and their child, and eventually their child had a child. I don't know what happened to their family. They lived for a very long time, these ancient elves. But like I said beforehand, when it comes to Thelma having maybe a small chance of having an actual snow elven baby that's kind of like them, blind, but snow elven, I wanted to mess around that idea, and I decided to finally put him in there. That Anbora, she is a third generation snow elf from the time of the massacre of their people. She's got the armor of her grandfather, and the mage, her old college mage armors, like maybe through 400 years ago. The idea is that she was a part of the college of in the College of Winterhold, where she trained. But maybe she left when the Oblivion Crisis happened, and something like that, and she wandered, and she come into these ruins to find, because she doesn't know what happened to her people. Her parents never knew, and the ideas and the books out there have said that they joined onto all this in foreign information. Discover what really happened to her people, why they're monsters. And she come across a couple, that were snow elves, but they were feral as shit. They were Thelma through and through. Until this one, the one to her side, saved her life and stuck around her because she looked like her. So she protected her and stopped her from getting killed. But she's a snow elven child of two corrupted Thelma. She's just blind, but she's not completely blind. It's kind of like a daredevil thing, I like to think, that the snow elves have. Their ears and their smell, and even like the force of wind. If I wave my hand at them, a certain way, they'd feel the wind bounce up their cheek and in the direction I'm at. Like, how the hell do these creatures shoot bows at you or shoot magic? There's some sort of weird, like, daredevil sense they've got that they can see around them if something moves. Or like Toph from Airbender, how if someone moves or touches the ground around her, she can sense the vibration. So I didn't want to make an entirely new race and make her not head track me, because that would be a pain in the ass. But she can somewhat see me because of the way I move, the way the wind moves around her. There's that weird sense that she knows where I am, by the way that I move, the way that I talk, and the way that I smell, sort of thing. And yeah, she's a snow elf, but she's part of the Thelma snow elves. She's sort of that part of that degenerated generation that came out an actual snow elf, and not the twisted Thelma like her parents would have been. This is honestly one of those puzzles which was piss easy. I never tried to even walk through it when I was 17 when I did it. I just pressed buttons and all of a sudden it was so easy. Like, you press the left one 3 times, one of them opens up, you go, oh shit, you're already there, boom, go back to that one, and it was piss easy to learn. And to make this look smart, I had to make it look dumb, but also make it look smart too. Like, the other people are like, holy shit, she's discovering this puzzle, she's amazing, she's very smart. But in her head, it's like, what the fuck, this thing was simple. Like, this thing was that simple that it would deter smart people. They're going to try to overthink it and spend a lot of time trying to overthink it and either get bored, leave, or die. It's just like press a couple buttons, it opens up. Like, it's such a stupid approach that would ward off people with how stupid it is that overthink it. And this is what she's thinking. So what the fuck? Man, this thing was just like, press a couple buttons, boom, the Elder Scrolls. Like, they locked us away with such a simple... There's no way. Like, an idiot could get this. Yes, but an idiot wouldn't make it this far. Someone very smart and intellectual, handy, would. But they'd overthink it and not unlock it because they're pressing way too many buttons trying to figure out the puzzle. And this is kind of where it all started. This is, like I said, how the Dragonborn came to be. On the hunt for this scroll. On the hunt for that Elder Scroll dragon, which turned her into the Dragonborn. The whole fate lining up your path. The stars aligned, I guess you could say. That's kind of the word I was looking for back then. The stars all aligned into the perfect formation. And about a month after her finding the scroll, she's sent back onto it, and she's now able to retrieve it. Instead of using it to stop the sun, which she will when it dawns upon her. She's so busy right now trying to stop Alduin, stop the dragons, that she's not thinking about anything else. She's got tunnel vision. But eventually she will have to use it again for her original reason, the first reason she came after it. To finish what she started, pretty much. But that's not there yet. Her main focus is right here. It's in the now, the dragons. But she'll come across something that will remind her, and like, oh shit, I've actually now got the scroll, I can actually complete this. I love this shot, man. This is one of my favourite shots. Like, this is an Elder Scroll, for fuck's sakes. This is meant to be like like a diamond you've just pulled out of the ground. It's like the size of your fist. Like, this is meant to be some of the most rarest things in the world. You know, this is written by the gods. This is, no one even knows what the fuck it is. You know, no one. It's like space or the deep sea. It's just unknown. And everyone here has never seen one before. I'm not even sure Cecilia might have seen one before, but they're all just glued to it. You know, it's like this is the writing of the gods, and I wanted to really show that this is a piece of the heavens or whatever the fuck it is. I don't even know how to describe it, to be honest with you. Everyone's just glued to it, eyeball. It's like, holy shit, we actually got it, and holy shit, it's an actual Elder Scroll. Even though Ragni's got 2 before, but didn't really know exactly how important they were. She wasn't, she didn't grow up hearing about Elder Scrolls. They're just, to her, there were scrolls at the time, but now they're pieces of writings from the gods, and they're prophecies. And, well, that's what they are. She mentions that she holds a scroll which could read a prophecy later on about a future person. It's not even born yet, you know? It will go through the exact same thing she went through, which is a reference to Elder Scrolls 6 when eventually it comes out. But she's talking about that character, who isn't even born yet, but will one day be called to save the world like she is. Now, the idea between this, Minerva has gone back to the college, but she will basically gather some items to help out the team, and she will return with items and more members before the Dragonborn heads up the mountain to glimpse into the past. But there's 3 dead Stormplates, holy moly. But yeah, it will be a vision. She's going to wander off, you know, for a couple of days. She'll get there before her team does, because she can teleport across the map. That's a new power she's learnt. But she will rock up again, and maybe even with the Snow Elf, because she's invited her back. Like the Snow Elf said, that she was part of the College of Winterhold, and all of a sudden she meets a new woman that's also now the Archmage of the College of Winterhold, which has now gathered some interest, and so she will rejoin the college, and of course fight by Minerva's side when the time comes, with other mages, just some that are known and some that are just new since the time that she took over. Things like that. But she's able to return home. I really did want to do the Alduin fight, but man, I've already crossed an hour in the story, and I was like, fuck me, I can't have this go for an hour and a half. Like, I'll just have them rest for a couple of days. 3 or 4 days, I'll just recover from their time, you know, being exhausted, stuff like that. And we'll get back onto the road where she's off to discover, you know, the word that she needs to ground Alduin and kill him and, you know, save the world. But until then, I'll see you guys in the next chapter. I hope you guys have enjoyed. If you've got any questions, anything like that, I always reply to comments. I always love a good conversation. Anyway, hope you guys have enjoyed. I'll catch us in the next one. See you later.